Hello everyone and welcome to one more of my videos. In today's video I will talk about this un-Islamic, in my understanding, and God knows best, guideline or advice that circulates amongst primarily males and the traditionalists and the Salafis, that when someone has committed zina, when someone has sexual relationships before marriage, I don't know what happens when they have inside marriage, because this is not clear in the advice. But the general advice is that if someone has sexual relationships before they will get married, then and they have repented, the sin has been deleted, and they don't have any, not only they don't have any obligation to reveal the sin to the future spouse, but that this is forbidden. So if a person has sex outside marriage, for those of you that you are not Muslims or you are converts, zina is the sexual intercourse, whether it has happened before marriage or within the marriage with someone else, okay? But now we're talking about zina before marriage. So the advice that scholars give to believers is that if you have committed zina, it is a sin for you to reveal it to your future spouse. The reason I'm making this video today is because within 4 days, I had two different experiences. One was a personal experience I was discussing with a colleague that I know for years, and he mentioned that. And then when I started bringing forward evidence from the Qur'an that this is not correct, I was personally attacked. So the person didn't counter-argue based on the Qur'an or hadith. A hadith, I mean, he didn't bring anything, but even if he had brought a hadith can never contradict the Quran. So he didn't bring forward any evidence. He just started attacking me personally, that I'm a convert and how dare I think I'm morally superior than him, that he's a born Muslim, and that I attack the male scholars because I'm a feminist. Well, it's not my mistake that we don't have female scholars until, I mean, we didn't have until the late 20th century, excuse me. So yeah, it was a dirty personal attack. It was not argument. It was not an academic or an intellectual exchange. It was a personal attack, which of course I didn't pay attention. I was like, okay, what I have to do is to protect myself from this energy I cut off from this person. But then today I woke up and I found on my social media this video from Asim al-Hakim, where Asim al-Hakim, for those of you that you don't know, is a Saudi preacher. He's a popular preacher. He was a popular preacher for the last 25-30 years. He had TV shows. He appeared in TV shows. With the emergence of social media, he has employed all possible platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and he preaches both in Arabic and in English. Now, Asim al-Hakim is a Salafi and he's a strict scholar, but since the new king of Saudi Arabia has decided to have a turn towards women, like permitted women, for example, to drive. So when the Saudi state became more women-friendly, Asim al-Hakim changed slightly the narration. So he promotes heavily content regarding how Muslim men should be good husbands, which of course we appreciate. But also what he does is that in his normal preaching, wherever he would normally say, a brother asked X and Y, now he will say a sister asked X and Y. Now, to what extent a sister could ask whatever he says, it's questionable, and I will explain what I mean. So in today's video, in the video that I saw about him, he says the same thing. He starts by, a sister asked whether if she committed zina before marriage, she should reveal it to her future spouse, and he moves on saying, without any evidence, without any reference to the Quran, without any reference to the Hadith, it's simply his personal opinion. how this is not only, she doesn't have to, but also she's not permitted because this will be a sin. So being honest would be a sin. Now, before we go into the content, let's stop and think whether you're a man or a woman. How many women, or if it is possible for a woman, especially in a Muslim majority country, to actually call or send them a question about that. Women, we are being policed heavily from the way we talk, from the way we laugh in public, from the way we wear or not wear our hijab. Now, to reach to the extent that a woman will commit zina and then will ask whether she will reveal or not, that's a bit ridiculous. But anyway, that's what he does. Asim al-Hakim is using women now to show a woman-friendly face. Those of us that they don't know him, they bite, they buy they bite the cheese in the trap. Those of us that we know him, we don't. But anyway, now let's go to the advice itself. And I will put on my glasses because otherwise I will struggle. So yeah, the advice is that scholars of the past have decided that a person who has committed zina is forbidden from revealing it with the notion that, oh, you have repented, so God has deleted your sin. But, and this is something that relates with another video I made a few months, 9 months ago. So 9 months ago, I published another video. It's the number 7. If you go in my videos, number 7, bullying of silence within the ummah. Go and watch that video and you will understand what I mean. Because this idea of hiding the sins of yourself and of others is damaging. Because what happens is we have become the ummah, the community of Muslims worldwide, has become the most hypocritical community ever. Because people know that I can sin, but nobody will know. I can sin, but nobody can talk about my sin. So I will rape my daughter, but my daughter is forbidden from revealing my sin. And I can go and then pray 5 rakahs, and then I will repent, and my sin is forbidden, is deleted. No, it isn't. Now let's go to the Qur'an to see to what extent this idea of zina being private and remain secret is permissible. Because Allah in the Qur'an has told us that zina should be a public knowledge, okay? So there are certain things, there are certain, they're not sins, but you can have certain misbehavior that can be private. That's whatever happens between you and Allah. For example, if you don't pray all your prayers, or if you don't fast in Ramadan, that's between you and Allah. Nobody has been harmed, nobody will be harmed. This, you can keep it silent, you can keep it between you. But on zina specifically, God specifically made it public, and made it public in 2 different aspects. So I'm reading now Qur'an, Surah 24, Ayat 2. And God has told us, as for female and male fornicators, give each of them 100 lashes, and do not let pity for them make you lenient in enforcing the law of Allah, if you truly believe in Allah and the last day. And let a number of believers witness the punishment. So here we have the number of believers, the community witnessing the punishment. God didn't say take them in a room and inflict the punishment. Didn't say hide it from the community. Said make the community see it, so that the people will talk and will, of course, they will also take it as a paradigm. They will see what happens, so they will not do it themselves. But the idea is that this sin is to be, and the punishment, is to be made public. And also, God has mentioned, because God knows the nature of humans, God has mentioned that do not pity them in enforcing the law of Allah. This is a law given by Allah in the Quran. This is Sharia. I haven't made yet the video about Sharia, but Sharia are only the laws that God has given us, word by word. And we cannot deviate from them. So for example, when women nowadays, they argue for, equal inheritance, all the males come forward with the Qur'an and they say, but God in the Qur'an said that women should inherit less than that. I accept it because God said it in the Qur'an, okay? But here, when God said it in the Qur'an, oh no, the scholars decided that, no, we are supposed to keep it silent. So, two things to remember. One, God made it to be public. God mentioned specifically in this ayah that this is the law of God if you believe in God and the last day. The opinion of the scholars like Asim al-Hakim, this is opinion, it's a fatwa. It is not fiqh. It is not Islamic law. It is opinion. An opinion, of course, that many men love so much. Not all men, but many men. I have come across many men that love it. Now let's go. This is Quran 24:2. Let's go to, Quran 24:2, yes. Let's go to Quran 24:3. A male fornicator, this is the Quran. A male fornicator would only marry a female fornicator or idolatress, and a female fornicator would only be married to a fornicator or idolater. This is forbidden to the believers. So again, the Quran says that if a believer, a pious believer, is forbidden, it's haram to marry a fornicator, or a female or a male fornicator. Again, the primary rule in fiqh is that if it is not clearly forbidden in the Quran, it is permissible. But here, it's forbidden. So if, now that the scholars like Asim al-Hakim and males, they come and they say, oh no, not only I don't have to reveal my sin to my future spouse, but it's a sin for me if I reveal it. I have to, I must conceal it. How? If you conceal it, first of all, you commit another sin because you lie and you conceal. And remember, in Al-Baqarah, the idea of concealing the truth, knowing the truth and concealing it, is shirk. Okay, it's. So not only you commit another sin, but also you force a pious spouse to marry you. Whereas in the Quran, God says that this is forbidden. It is all forbidden to the believers. How come? Now, when it comes to these scholars that they advocate this advice based on whatever their forefathers told them and blah, 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 whatever. I mean, they can say whatever they want. And it saddens me how much scholars push people to deviate from the right path. But my point is not the scholars. The scholars, this is their business. That's how they make money. Okay? That's how they live. That's how they have a status in their community. Let's go and talk about the believers. Let's go and talk about this person that attacked me personally when I dared mention the Quran because I am a convert, and how dare I know better. In the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayah 170, we read, when it is said to them, follow what Allah has revealed, they reply, no, we only follow what we found our forefathers practicing. Would they still do so even if their forefathers had no understanding or guidance? So God has already told us, because God knows us, knows human nature. God knows that a great part of the Ummah, a great number of believers will deviate and they will follow whatever, they will inherit the religion. That's what the scholars said. That's what the elderly of the community said. That's what the imam in the mosque said. That's what my father said. So I do whatever they told me, because how dare, do I dare think on my own? Do I dare read the Quran on my own and take responsibility of my religion? Well, that's what you should do. And when I mention this ayah, usually they come and they say, oh, but this was referring to the Jews. Yeah, it was referring to the Jews. So as a living example of how humans do that throughout history in all religions. But it was revealed to you. It was revealed in the Qur'an. It was meant for you to take a lesson and not repeat the same action. Now, because I posted whatever I'm saying now to you, I posted it already on my Facebook. And guess what? All the comments under my post that attacked me and they started playing intellectual pirouettes to prove that, no, the scholars know best, all of them were made by males. And in Asim al-Hakim's video, under the video, all the comments that were against this advice and were talking about how ridiculous this advice is, all of them were made by women. All of them, I swear in God. All of them were made by women. Because between me and you, throughout history. And if you're a convert and you grew up in a non-Muslim majority country and you have no idea, you might have this illusion of piousness about Muslim men. But if you have been born and raised in a Muslim majority country, or if you have lived in a Muslim majority country, you know very well that girls are policed from early age on how to, their honor and everything. Whereas men, boys, are always given the freedom that, your marriage will be half of your deen, so before your marriage you can do whatever. And we all know, and if you say that you don't know, you're a hypocrite, and God is witnessing all of us. Vast majority of males in Muslim majority countries, they do fornicate before their marriage. There is a proportion of women that they do that as well, because, okay, let's not talk about with whom the males fornicate. There is a proportion of women as well. But the number of males and the frequency that males do it is much larger. So this guidance comes primarily to conceal the males. And now you will tell me, but why not to hide it? What bad can happen? What evil can happen? I'll tell you what evil can happen and happens. The boy goes around, has sex before marriage. He contracts sexually transmitted diseases, and then he marries a virgin girl, and the virgin girl gets, ill, gets the disease. In the worst case scenario, this disease will be AIDS, and the girl will die. And it has happened, it happens still. In lighter cases, it will be any other type of sexual transmitted disease. And the girl will have to take medication, and she will, have pains. Some of them, they lose their capacity to have children, etc. So yes, there is a physical, real harm that can happen to a virgin girl that will marry a fornicator. And one of the arguments of the people in my social media was like that, and it was also the person told me that, you think that you are morally higher. No, I don't think that I'm morally higher. And there is another contradiction here. So when males go to women to preach about our hijab, whether we should or we shouldn't, and how exactly we should wear the hijab. And then the women, we tell them, what's your business? It's my body. It's between me and Allah. It doesn't bother you. What are you doing? Their excuse is, but I care. I care to tell you the correct thing. I care about you. But when we tell them something that we do it out of fear of Allah. We do it out of love. I personally don't fear Allah. I love Allah. When we remind them what God exactly said, that's the words of God, then, we pretend to be morally higher than them. So, double standards. When you preach me about my body, you don't do it because you believe that you are in morally high ground. You do it because you fear Allah. But when I tell you about something that can potentially harm me, you can give me a disease, then I don't do it because I love Allah. I do it because I'm on the moral highway. Hypocrisy, 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 hypocrisy. Huge amount of hypocrisy. And I will conclude this video with an advice to all of you. learn your religion. Do not inherit your religion. Learn your religion. The day of judgment, you will stand in front of Allah and you will have to give explanations. And I'm pretty sure that the explanation, oh, a scholar or a preacher said so in YouTube. I don't think this will be a convincing excuse. Anyway, at least God reveals humans through intentions and natures. I will conclude this video. I will advise that you don't commit sins to begin with. But I will also advise that don't follow whatever makes you feel comfortable. Follow whatever God said. That is all from me for now. Thank you and have a lovely day.